continue to grow. I got to go down there about 6 months ago and work with their team. I was blown away by how engaged they are with their students. Like every single one of them are passionate and silly and fun, and it was obvious to me why their participation has continued to grow. And then in our curriculum, we have the award for presence. You knew we had to put Taylor Swift in here. We had to. The students they all love Taylor. Taylor is the highest grossing female touring act and the first billionaire with music as the main source of income. She's won 14 Grammy Awards, 40 American Music Awards, 39 Billboard Music Awards, and 23 MTV Awards. She's been a huge influence on artistry, entrepreneurship, and advocacy. And personal presence is the ability to connect authentically with others, both their hearts and their minds. Doing this helps students feel included, engaged, and empowered. The award for collaboration was Murray State College in Murray, Kentucky. This program has 2 grants with 1,000 students, 9 rural districts with a lot of distance in between them. So they just have a lot of challenges. And so they created an ambassador program where 2 students from each school, they designed student activities. So these 2 students from each school are on an advisory committee, and they're constantly letting you know, hey, this is what they're into right now. Here's what everyone's talking about. Here's what everyone's doing. And they design activities around that. These students give feedback. They serve on a student leadership advisory board at the college, so they're also involved in things that are going on with the college. And so they said that students who attend their summer programs are also the students who tend to show up at just about everything they do. Summer boosts their relationships, which makes them feel more comfortable with the program as the program progresses year after year. And then we have the award for conviction, and I'm so excited because Roy is here today. I feel like I have a celebrity. Roy from the program is here. Listen, I was a newspaper reporter for a long time. I'm a writer. I love people. I get their stories everywhere I go. I'm that person, Smiley, that everyone dumps their story to. Everyone loves to tell me everything about their life, and I enjoy every single second. But this is one of the best stories I ever heard, and I got so excited. I actually called her trying to sell something to her. And we ended up being on the phone, I don't know, for an hour, just her telling me this whole story that I couldn't believe. So South Arkansas College in El Dorado, Arkansas, this is Kelsey. Kelsey is the director, but she was an alumni of the program, and she was an alumni, she was a student when Roy, and what is your counterpart's name?
Martha Dunn.
Monica?
Martha.
Martha.
Uh-huh.
So Roy and Martha have been at the program since the inception, in 2007, so
Yes.
17 years they've been there. Kelsey is a student in the program while these 2 are there, and then later Kelsey becomes the director. So now they're reporting to Kelsey, but she doesn't boss you around, does she?
Yes, she does.
She does?
She says payback time.
But so I'm on the phone, and I want to say that, Kelsey and I were on a Zoom call, that's right. And so then they're in the background. The dynamic between these 3 is just so precious, and the respect they have for each other. Imagine suddenly a student that was in your program is suddenly your boss, right? And these 2 were just so gracious, probably because they're nearing the end, right? You're like, we're retiring soon anyway, we're getting out of here. So what I loved about my conversation with Kelsey, they made a bold move and made a no phone rule during summer camp. Has anyone else ever done this? Okay, a few. So she made a no phone rule, and the students were not allowed to have their phone. And I said to her, wow, so the students and the parents, I'm sure you just got a barrage of angry people, right? Because parents these days tend to, I don't know, my little angel, can't do anything wrong, right? They need their phone. And she said, yes, but they thought it out ahead of time. What are the objections going to be, and what am I going to say? And then I'm going to stand 10 toes down on that. So the students are, what if I need to call my parents? Well, your parents have my number. They can call me. What were some of the objections? Do you remember all of them?
Just the biggest thing was emergency, which we've never had a real emergency situation like that in the 17 years. But, if it came up, they already have all our numbers, personal numbers.
Listen, I love Gen Zs, but I'm sure they came up with all kinds of reasons why they had to have these phones. And back in the 1920s, we didn't have phones, right? Nobody even had phones. So it was so successful, the no phone rule during summer camp, that they continued it on throughout the year. And she told me there was so much more engagement. The students were really talking to each other, getting to know each other. She noticed the lunchroom is so much louder because everyone's talking. Roy, tell us what that was like.
I mean, again, everybody in here that had teenagers in programs know this is what they do the whole time. As a matter of fact, I had a group of them look up and I said, oh, I didn't know who you were with your head down all the time. Now I know who you are, okay? But the engagement, they actually talk to each other. They used to sit at the lunch time right next to each other, texting each other right next to each other, you know. So it has improved us a whole lot.